welcome back to another episode of the Manifesting Muslimah Ramadan series, Aligning with Allah. In today's episode, we're going to talk about effort. Okay? Effort as a part of your ibadah, a part of your worship in this dunya, but also a part of your relationship, how that is literally a reflection also of your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, your effort, right? It's your outward effort of your relationship with Allah. So let's talk about this thing. Because one thing that has happened since I started Manifesting Muslimah is I've been getting one question quite a lot, which has to do with qadr. And as somebody who teaches law of attraction from an Islamic perspective, that was very much, of course that question has to come. But many people have this idea of like, well, if Qadr is the decree of Allah. Allah has decided upon something and we can't stop what Allah has decided, and we can't, choose different to what Allah has decided. So why should we even try? Like if Allah has decided something's going to happen to me, then it doesn't matter what I do, it'll come to me. And if something is not meant to come to me, then it doesn't matter what I do because it won't come to me. I understand the question, but unfortunately it is a very flawed question because our qadr can be rewritten so many times. That is literally why we have Laylatul Qadr, for instance, where the angels ascend to Allah to get, the next year's worth of Qadr for the people that they're looking after in this dunya, right? So, and on that night specifically, Allah is open to, I was going to call it suggestions. I don't know how else to call it, so I'm going to call it suggestions. This is why we make dua, because this is kind of like, oh, okay, Allah's going to like hand down the books of like our destinies to our angels. So he's like, any suggestions? Is there anything you want? And if I'm pleased with you, I'm going to give it to you. Yeah, this is going to happen. Okay, you know what, it's so powerful. Remember, I know I'm going a little bit on a side quest here, but like I just want to make sure that we all understand this. It is so powerful that if Allah is pleased with you and you were meant to die in the next year, and Allah loves you and thinks you know what, you've done good, and you ask for a long life, He might actually prolong your life. So He will even push away death from you for however long time or however much time, because He's pleased with you and you made that specific dua. That's how powerful it is, and that's how much we actually can influence our own qadrs. So yes, it is written, and Allah decides. But remember, just because we suggest something doesn't mean that Allah has to take it the way that we want to take it, okay? And so this is where tawakkul comes in, very apropos last episode. But this is very much for us to understand that what we do in this dunya very much matters. This is a test. We have been set here on a test. We are being tested all the time. And it's not just a test on what Allah gives us, it's also what we choose for ourselves and how we choose to show up for it, the intentions that we set before we take actions, and so on and so forth. So when we're looking at effort now, and effort as part of our worship and also a part of our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does that actually then mean? Well, what it means is that while we know that our rizq is written for us and our qadr is pre-decreed by Allah, all of these things, we still have a responsibility. So what we're doing when we're taking effort, or we're making these efforts, it's not that we're trying to micromanage or force out an outcome. We're not making these efforts and taking actions because we distrust in Allah's decree and Allah's ability to make something happen. We do it because we honor the responsibility He gave us. And the responsibility that He gave us is that we know that this is a test, and we also get in this dunya and akhirah according to how we show up. So our effort now is part of our ibadah. If we're asking Allah for something, a good wife, a good husband. Listen, if you're gay, who am I to judge? My back is not clean. Listen. Oh, by the way, not about like sexuality and nonsense. So I just meant like, if you're sitting out there and you're gay and you're listening and you want a wife, listen, it's not my place to judge. Am I just digging right now? I'm digging. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Listen, we're gonna move forward. Okay, we're just gonna keep moving. All right. So the point is, if we're asking for a good husband or wife, or we're asking for wealth, or we're asking for a big house, we're asking for more travel, whatever it might be, a good job opportunity, whatever it might be. Many people have this idea, well, I've made dua and it's still not coming. I've made dua and it's still not coming. Yes, that's great. Make the dua. Allah loves to hear from you. But Allah might just be sitting and waiting on the action. Where's the effort? What are you doing? How are you trying to show up for it? Because one thing is that Allah could serve it up to you on a plate literally today in 2 seconds. But if you're not prepared for it because you haven't done the internal and external work to receive this blessing, then why would Allah give it to you if you're just going to squander it away? If you're going to self-sabotage, there's no point in that, right? And because Allah loves us, He wants us to receive the blessings in a time when we're ready to hold it and we're ready to maintain it and do the best we can with it. So He might be holding on to that blessing for a while and being like, well, when are you going to show up for it? When are you going to put in the effort? Right? So effort is part of our worship. It's part of our ibadah. It's how we show up also for Allah, to show Allah, I'm ready to show up for this. I feel like you are trying to tell me that this is something that I should be pursuing in this dunya. And so I'm doing it, trusting that this is the guidance that I'm getting from you, and I'm going to take the steps in this direction. I trust that you will guide me however you see fit on this journey so I get to the best possible outcome. And I trust that you will give it to me if it is, part of my qadr and part of the rizq that is written for me. But at the same time, I'm going to take every step so that I can learn and grow and prepare myself so that if and when it comes, I'm ready for it. I can hold it. I can maintain it. It's not just, oh, here it is and I'm going to take it for granted because you know what? I didn't really work for it. We're human and we do this, okay? So our effort in this dunya is a balance between striving and calmness, surrendering. It's a strive and a surrender at the same time, okay? We surrender the outcome, but we strive because of our responsibility. And we take this responsibility because we trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we know that Allah is looking at what we do in this dunya and He's judging us based off of that. So we act while knowing that the outcomes are not for us to control. And when we do that, it protects us from burnout because we work too hard, because we're trying to control an outcome or whatever, and so we're just trying to force something to happen, and it protects us from hopelessness and despair. It protects us from feeling like nothing we do will ever matter, because we have this huge grand power behind us who at any moment can say, and I've seen what I needed to see, and here you go. Here's the blessing. Even though we feel like I've got 1,000 steps still to go, Allah will be like, no, I seen it already, and now I want you to have it. So we just have to keep making sure that we are prepared for it. Okay? When we take or make this effort, when we take these steps and these actions, Allah in return, and this is again, it shows it's a part of our relationship with Allah, because we trust that in taking these steps, Allah wants us to receive something. There is something there for us. He wants us to go through what it is that we need to go through and take the steps that we need to take, because within those steps, there might be wisdom. We might learn from it. There's growth, there's expansion, inner expansion, resilience that we need to learn that we didn't have before. So we will get something from it, even when the perhaps the ultimate goal hasn't been received yet. There will still be something on the other end of every single part of these little steps that we take. There will be something there for us that Allah is like, and there you go. And I wanted you to have this as well on your journey. And I needed you to go this way because I needed you to also learn this. And I needed you to take this step and this action and put in this effort because. And that again shows our level of trust in Allah and our relationship with Allah. So when we say, or when I say, your effort is part of your worship, is part of your ibadah, it's because it's a reflection of your relationship with Allah. Do you trust Allah enough to take these steps? It's kind of like a part of the tawakkul, but in this case it's more of actually showing up, taking the steps, and making every piece of action and step and effort that you're making in this dunya a part of your ibadah. Again, everything, and I know it sounds so very grand, but I cannot stress this enough. Everything in this dunya, you need to anchor it all around Allah. So every step that you take, anchor it to Allah. Every step you don't take, anchor it to Allah. This is why I'm not doing it because of Allah. This is why I am doing it because of Allah. And I'm doing this because I trust in Allah. I do this because I trust in Allah. I don't do this because I trust in Allah, so on and so forth. And so your effort now is part of that worship. It's part of you showing up for Allah in your everyday life. So every little mundane task becomes a part of your relationship with Allah. That is how we start, again, building that relationship with Allah. Allah and I don't just meet on when I pray. We also meet when I choose what to eat for dinner. We also meet when I choose what time to wake up in the morning. We also meet when I choose to stop watching a video online that may not be good for me, so on and so forth. Now everything again is part of my worship. That is where I want you to be. So I want you to start thinking of your effort not as a part of, if I put this effort in, then I will get. But rather, if I put this effort in, I'm expanding my relationship with Allah. I'm expanding my trust with Allah. I'm working on my relationship with Allah. I'm taking my relationship with Allah from the prayer mat and out into my everyday life. I'm choosing Allah as my anchor in this dunya. So everything I do now becomes part of my worship. So I want you to start thinking about something in your life where you're like, it feels like I've been trying to make decisions or taking action or making steps and moves, but I haven't at any moment sat back and been like, where is Allah in this decision? So if you can think of something in your life right now, then think about that, and then think about how you can now introduce Allah into that effort that you're taking. And then slowly but surely and gradually you can start expanding on it and expanding on it and expanding on it, inshallah bi'idhnillah. All right, my darling, that is what I had for you for today's episode. I will see you, inshallah, for tomorrow's episode. But until then, my darling friend, please don't forget to live in love.